Hey everyone, Tom here again, and today I've got something a bit different for you again. I'm going to show you a little program called BleachBit. I'm a big fan of something called CCleaner. We've got here CCleaner free, and I love it. It's an old favorite of mine. But kind of in keeping with my last video that I made about antiviruses having lots of ads these days, well, CCleaner is another program that, they used to be quite honest and, they were just like a freeware program that I loved. And I still do, I still like it. But now they have the same kind of thing where, you can pay more money for more features. And yeah, the free version is just kind of like a big advert. Well, I came across this the other day, BleachBit, and I've tested it on another computer of mine, and I've got to say it does a good job. And it's actually open source. So, hey, open source, what does that mean? Open source means that it's free, completely free, but also if you happen to know one or two things about programming and coding and making your own programs, you can actually change the code. You can actually change the code and change the functionality of the program if you wanted to. So we're going to take a look at it. I haven't actually installed it on this computer yet, but I've got the installer right here. So we're going to go ahead and install it, and I'll show you the process here. Really easy. I imagine no harder than CCleaner. So I'm going to be available to everyone. We're going to say yes. Oh, okay. It's going to ask us to install it again. Okay. I think that might be because it needed administrative permissions even. So there's a bunch of options. So I'm going to say, start menu shortcut, desktop shortcut. I don't need the translations. Integrate shred. So I think that that's a context menu entry. So we're going to leave that checked. I'm going to install. And it's really quick. Other than this thing that says FC cache, I don't know what's happening there. Ah, okay. So it's the font cache. So we're going to have to wait for that for about a minute. So yeah, whilst we're waiting for that, I mean, you might be wondering, why am I having this trend of looking for apps without ads? Well, the thing is that, and again, I still do really like CCleaner, but, it's basically, when you install the free product, it's learning from you. It's kind of looking at how are you using the program? How can we, make a custom offer for you so that we can make you buy our product? So yeah, it's not adware, don't get me wrong, but essentially the ads are still in there and it's just kind of like a big nag screen and it's kind of lost something from what it was for me. So we're going to go back, and I think this is complete. It is. Let's run it. Okay, good. So here's BleachBit for you. So yeah, I've got to say that there are things that it could do better. For example, up here in the top left, it's got this little icon, and actually that little icon is where we can select more options here. So for example, we've got system information. So that just tells you a few things about like the what do you call it, the run times that the program uses, the settings, where it's installed, the user. I think this one here. So this one shows where the settings for it are stored. So yeah, that's just some information for like debugging if you have a problem. have a look at the preferences. Yeah, the preferences, I mean, they could have more in here, I think. I'm going to show you something actually in a second that they would be better off having in here. So, you know, we can check for updates, hide irrelevant cleaners, overwrite the contents of files. That's going to make it take longer though. We can confirm before delete. You can add custom folders. You can choose drives where you want to wipe your free space. And what that means is like the part of the drive that doesn't have any files on it, do you want to overwrite the old data? Because when you delete a file on your computer, it never really goes away, not for a while. You actually have to wipe the data free. So when you delete a file, you delete the pointer that shows where that file is, but the file is still there, and it's just saying that, okay, this file has been deleted, so now we can, you know, I can use this disk space for other data. So that just makes sure that you can't get that file back, because obviously, of course, you know, things like browsing history that we wipe from our computer, we don't want it to come back. Okay, and this is the whitelist. So, you know, these folders are not going to be deleted or changed. So if you add something to the whitelist, it's safe. Right, so let's get into this. I mean, yeah, it tells you everything you need to know. One thing that does occur to me is that this might not be so good for someone who doesn't know what they're doing. I think that CCleaner just has a nicer kind of interface here. You know, it's got icons that makes it easy on the eye. It kind of tells you exactly what each thing is. Whereas in here, you know, well, in some cases it does better. I think in some cases it actually tells you more information. But, you know, it says like thumbs.db. You know, many people are going to look at that and think, well, what does that mean? Yeah, and it just says delete the files. So it could do more to tell us, you know, what is it actually deleting. So I'm not going to touch deep scan because that one actually takes a long time. Let's see, Discord. Okay. All right, so I'm actually going to delete the web cache for that one. I'm going to leave everything else for that one because I do use Discord a lot. Flash player, I don't even think that's, yeah, I don't even think that's a thing anymore, is it? So I'm actually going to check that one because really Flash by now, it's quite insecure because it's defunct. So anything that's related to Flash, it shouldn't even be there. Chrome, so if I check everything, so it says, warning regarding Google Chrome, passwords. This option will delete your saved passwords. Now, I'm going to double check something actually. If I go back into the preferences, oh no, I'm going to uncheck that first. So if I go back into preferences and I uncheck confirm before delete, because I think that is the closest menu option. No. So that's a problem. So these kind of warning messages, they're always going to appear. Whenever you choose to delete something in here, it's going to pop up like this. So that can be a bit annoying if you kind of know what you're doing. It would be nice if they had something in the options to say, you know, don't show warning messages about what I'm deleting. But oh well, that's all right. You know, some people might want to keep that, so it's fair enough. But okay, I'm going to delete all of that. I'm going to keep my cookies. I'm going to keep my history. I'm going to keep my session. I'm going to keep my site preferences. And then yeah, pretty much everything else. Okay, I'm going to keep those HTML5 cookies. I don't use Internet Explorer, that can go. Microsoft Edge, I have a lot of stuff in there. so a lot of tabs open that I never really get round to. So I'm going to keep my cookies in my DOM storage. Form history, search engines. So reset the search engine usage history. Okay, I'm going to actually uncheck that. And actually, I'm going to uncheck that for Chrome. I think that's kind of different. That one, yeah, that one, they're actually going to delete some of your search engines. I prefer to do that myself, so I'm going to keep that. So yeah, back to Microsoft Edge. Yeah, I'm going to keep my site preferences. Okay, just to kind of give you an example, because probably most of you watching this will be interested in deleting all of that extra crap that's made by your web browser. Cache, totally fine to delete. Basically, as you know, it's exactly what it says on the tin. When you visit a website, the website actually downloads some of its files to your computer. So these files are put in what you call the cache, and it just makes it easier and quicker to load the newspaper in the future when you go back to it. So that one, sometimes it's actually useful to delete the cache because it saves space, and of course there's your privacy. But as well, it sometimes just things go wrong, so it's better to kind of wipe it and get rid of it. Cookies. So cookies is up to you. Um, there's a lot of misconceptions about cookies. They're not really bad per se. Um, Most of them are, or well, I say most of them. Some cookies are just there to kind of keep the settings for a website. Some of them do track you and make ads more relevant to you, but as well, some are there to keep you signed into things like your Gmail account, your YouTube account. So if you delete your cookies, then you might be signed out from that. So that's why I'm keeping mine. These are HTML5 cookies, so again, that relates to things like your HTML5 video player. So, for example, in YouTube, I know that YouTube uses HTML5. Form history. So when you buy something online, for example, you might have your name, email, address. Um, that's just basically when you type in your name, your email, and that kind of data, it saves a copy. Your browser saves a copy, and it makes it easier to fill all of that out later on, because you might just start typing your name, and then you have the option to just click, and it'll fill it in for you. History, so sites that you've looked at, where you've been before, downloads. Passwords, I personally don't keep passwords on my computer. I use Bitwarden for that. So I'm gonna always check this one just in case Edge has saved it and I don't know about it. Search engines we talked about. Sessions. So session is like, how many tabs have you got open? What websites are you on? Are you signed into Google? So again, if you use your browser a lot, you might want to keep your session like I do. Site preferences. So, can a website access your webcam? Is a website going to be in dark mode? It's just the settings for a website. Sync, that means delete the sync data and sign out of the browser. So actually, I'm going to uncheck that. That's a new one for me. Once again, that's just different in here. So I'm going to uncheck that because I know that I'm signed into Edge, I think. So I don't want to sign out of my sync, which basically means that it's going to send all my favorites to the cloud, and as well, I think also maybe as well the tabs I have open, and perhaps the settings. So yeah, I want to leave sync on. And then vacuum, so clean database fragmentation to reduce space and improve speed without removing any data. So every web browser has what we call a like a database. So, you know, it has the settings, it has your cookies, it has your saved favorites. So this one, you know, it just kind of defragments all of that. It defragments your profile and it can make it run quicker. Okay, I'm going to delete everything in Microsoft Office. I don't need those. Actually, I might keep most recently used. Paint, I don't need that. System. So system, clipboard, that means when you copy and paste something. So if you copy and paste an email address, that's in a place called the clipboard. So if you clean the clipboard, it gets rid of all of the stuff that you've copied. Custom, so that's, you know, if we go back into the preferences, you know, any folders or files you put in here, that's what's going to be deleted by this option. Free disk space, as I said before, that will delete your kind of your free disk space. So not delete, overwrite, as it says. So if you've deleted a file, or rather you've deleted the pointer to that file, it's going to overwrite the data in that file and it'll be gone, or it'll be harder to get back. Logs, so system logs, I believe that would be what's found in Event Viewer. So it depends, this one, if you want to delete that. I mean, it can take up space over time, but if you have a problem, you might want to go back and look at it. But that's like kind of a advanced diagnosis tool. So if you have no problems with your computer, you can go ahead and delete that. That's fine. We cache, sorry, not we, memory dump. So if you have a blue screen, you might want to keep the .dmp files. So I believe that you can find those in your. We go here. Windows. That's right. Windows System 32. System 32. And if we scroll all the way down. No, actually, maybe not. Is it drivers? It's actually, you know what? It's actually been a while since I've looked at DMP files. Where is it? You know what? I might actually just not have any dumps right now. Pardon the pun. .dmp. No, no, I don't have. Yeah, I haven't had a blue screen in quite a while, so it's not there. But I think it's System 32. Those are files anyway that can help diagnose a system problem. So those are useful to keep if you've had a blue screen recently. We cache, I actually don't know what that is to tell you the truth. So I think that's okay to delete though, because I've done it before. Prefetch. So prefetch cache, that's going to be it's kind of the same as your web browser. So when you open a program on your computer, data is made called prefetch data, and that data helps the program load more effectively, or rather more quickly. So if you delete that, it might load slower, but also at the same time, you know, if the cache is overrun, it could also make it quicker. Recycle bin, empty whatever you've put in the recycle bin. Temporary files, those are completely not needed, so you can delete those, that's fine. Update installers, so if you've recently had any updates, it will have probably downloaded a bunch of installers, so those can take up extra space, so you can go ahead and delete those. Right, so I'm going to click everything but I will uncheck custom because I don't have anything selected. I will take away free disk space because I don't want to do that. I don't want to just. I personally don't want to delete anything in the recycle bin, but everything else for me is fine on that one. Team viewer, I don't need that. Thunderbird, similar to the browser. I'm gonna keep most of that. So I'm gonna keep my cookies because that's again part of my session. Delete VLC media player. Windows Defender, so you can delete all of that, but I'm actually going to uncheck backup files because actually Microsoft doesn't even allow them to do this. So I'm just going to uncheck that. Windows Explorer. So I'm going to yeah, I'm going to keep my most recently used, the recent document list, my search history. I mean, no, I can get rid of that. I'm going to keep my shell bags. I'm going to keep run. So after all of that, only two things. Zoom. So for Zoom, I'm just going to delete my cache. I want to keep my logs and my recordings. Right. Okay. So I mean, I'm actually quite impressed. In this program, they actually have more options than CCleaner does. But of course, some of it, if you usually use CCleaner, it might just be unfamiliar to you. So, you know, if you're kind of like a semi-advanced user, you might want to just kind of check everything before before you actually want to clean it. So I think I'm happy with that. So I've kept the things I want to keep, and I'm gonna get rid of the things I don't want to keep. Actually, I'm gonna do vacuum for Discord as well. Okay, so I'm gonna start with preview. So this is kind of similar to CCleaner in that you can see what will be deleted, but it's not going to delete it for you yet. And I'm going to close Google Chrome because it needs to be closed for this to work. And look at that. Disk space to be recovered, 2.96 gigabytes. Nearly 3 gigabytes can be taken away here. Now, let's very quickly do the same for CCleaner. I'm just going to click Analyze. I'm not going to clean it with CCleaner. And as well, I'm going to bring up my disk. So Windows C is what we're looking at here. That's the one that we want to be watching. Are we going to reclaim that space or not? So look, 2.26 gigabytes, and I've largely kept this the same. Really, I have mostly kept this the same. Let's see, is there anything I can? Windows log files. Yeah, okay, actually let's analyze that again, but I think it's mostly the same, but there's less data that can be cleaned. So yeah, 2.31. Yeah, okay. But just to compare the interface, the way it looks, yeah, I would say that CCleaner definitely has a more clear way of showing you, what's going to be deleted. I mean, if we go here, system, temporary files, that's 89 megabytes. Chrome, internet cache, that's 800 megabytes. Back to BleachBit, how the heck do I find where Chrome is in there? I mean, I certainly won't be searching for it. Yeah, so that's one thing that these guys could improve on. But anyway, I'm all happy with that. So one last check. And yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, okay. So, it shows the data in here, but again, I just think it could look nicer. We're going to click clean. So it does it quite quickly, quite effective. Whoops. So as well, it even did something to my, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it did something to my nightlight. It kind of changed it for a second there. Then it changed it back. Okay, so disk space recovered 3.16 gigabytes. Yeah, so it's cleaned a lot of crap out of there. So yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm quite impressed. For an open source product that doesn't have any nag screens, that's great. Let's go back to CCleaner and let's click Analyze. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that it's definitely gotten rid of. However, I'm pretty sure that we did choose to clean the internet cache. So if we go back and just double check. Yeah, so it's right there. We had it checked and we definitely deleted it. So, for some reason, CCleaner is saying that, it's not all being deleted. So, that's one thing to consider when using this, I guess. It might not be as effective as CCleaner. But if we have a look at our disk space, you can see that, 2 or 3 gigabytes has been recovered and we can use it again. Hurrah! Okay, we're not finished there though. If we go to the options here, we can choose to shred something. Now, there's nothing really exciting about this. If I go on my desktop for a second, yeah, we're back to the big messy desktop there. But if I go onto my nice clean desktop here, so pretend you didn't see the other one, I'm going to make a new file. So let's say it's my passwords. Uh-oh. So I didn't want to make this file. I've got all my passwords in here. Blah 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 blah. Oh no! Why did I do that? That is so stupid of me. We can shred a file. We can go to our desktop. We can go to passwords. We can open it, and there you go. It's deleted it. But it's not just deleted it, it's shredded it. So what that means is it's deleted the pointer to the file, and then it's overwritten the data in that file with lots of junk data. So we can't read that anymore. Shred paths from clipboard. So yeah, the clipboard again, it's that space. Like if I copy this text here, it's in that text is in the clipboard now. So if I click shred again, okay, fair enough. Anyway, it should delete whatever you have copied into the clipboard. So wipe free space. So again, that's just I've already said that one to you really. Make chaff. Now this is interesting. I'm not too sure why it has this option, but let's have a look. So I'm going to just make a folder called chaff on my desktop. There we go. All right. So let's see. Hillary Clinton's emails. I want to see. I want to see this. So let's do that, and let's select that folder that we put on our desktop here. So chaff. Let's go ahead and open that one. And let's make 5 files. And we're going to say do not delete. Now, I'm not sure why this is an option, delete without shredding. Why would you want to delete something that you've just created? Okay, but anyway, let's do that. Let's make those files. So it looks like it looks like it actually has to download the data from Hillary Clinton's emails. Just gonna make those files, and I'll show you those in a second. Oh, okay. Right, it's done it. Yeah, it's finished. Chaff. No, it's not finished. Huh. Uh, Make chaff. Let's select it again. Chaff. Let's just make one file. Ah, you know what? I'm so okay. I'm so stupid. I forgot to change this option here. So let's do not delete it. We'll make just one file. Okay, I think that should be done. And yes, here we are. So, okay. So it's actually given us an EML document. I'm actually just going to open it in Notepad. Just so we can focus on the text. Yeah, so there you go. It's, it literally has the text of one of Hillary Clinton's emails. Wow. Yeah. So interesting times. But anyway, there you go. I think the reason it does this is probably because it's a way that you can protect your own files. If you have a bunch of interesting files in, say, your temp folder, then I guess some virus could, if it gets on your system, like ransomware, it would then focus on encrypting those files rather than your own personal files. Maybe that might be why. I think that's my best guess. Shred settings and quit. So there you go. It literally it takes away your settings and it just quits the program. So if I reopen it, so now you'll notice that here, everything that we've chosen, it's gone. So we have to choose it again. Yeah, interesting option. I'm not really too sure why anyone would care about whether your settings are visible or not. But there you go. We can look at about. So you can kind of tell that this is an open source application. It has those nice buttons. I think that BleachBit was originally first available on Ubuntu. So, it is kind of a bit of a port to Windows, you could say. We look at help. So, you can look at wait a minute. We can look at help. So if I go to update.bleachbit.org, well, the help is there. So we go to help. So we can read the documentation. And yeah, it's all there for you if you want to look at that. But yeah, anyway, there you go, guys. So a free program, open source, free, does what it says on the tin, no adverts. There you are. Well, guys, thank you for watching this video again. I hope to hear from you all. I hope to hear some comments. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And please let me know what kind of videos you might want to see in the future. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a pleasant day. Thank you.